Your replacement came in early.
She's just covering while I go on my little sabbatical.
I have ideas for improving the department.
Okay, well...
Want to tell me some more about your ideas?
That was a little coverage from season 2, ladies and gentlemen. And I've got to tell you all who are coming from Power, this show is like Power in Scrubs. If you're new to my channel, I'm Lamont Tyson. We are going to be breaking down some of the things that are going to happen in season 2 of the Pitt, the Emmy award-winning Pitt. And before we break it down, let's kind of recap what happened in season 1 for those that might just be coming in for season 2 and didn't get a chance to fully understand season 1. So you have my homegirl Sissy from Snowfall. She is the CEO of this hospital, Pittsburgh Hospital. The show takes place in Pittsburgh. She is stretching this medical staff so thin you can see through everybody, not giving them the resources they need. She's predominantly worried about money. The show does a good job of portraying some of the pressures that you have in a real hospital and the ER. Now, mind you, I'm uniquely qualified to review this show because I was a former respiratory therapist who worked in ER before I started working with kids. This show is not just a medical drama, ladies and gentlemen. This is about power, it's pressure cooking, it's intense, and you get a chance to kind of see, of all the medical shows I've seen, this one does a great job of giving you the real life, what happens to people who work in the ER, doctors, nurses, security staff, everything that happens. Season 1 takes place over a brutal 15-hour ER shift in Pittsburgh Trauma Hospital. Every episode is basically 1 hour of chaos. No cues, no music, no relief, just decisions, consequences, and people who are tired. The music on this show is the sounds of trauma going on in the hospital. At the center of it all is my boy, Dr. Robby. And Dr. Robby's played by Noah Weil. Fantastic actor. He's been in so many different things, but he is just knocking this role out the park. He's the attending physician, holding the entire emergency room together while quietly falling apart on the inside, ladies and gentlemen. It gets so bad with him and some of his demons. He goes up to another floor and is literally seeing the type of things we would see in Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Toys, teddy bears, he's seeing all kinds of stuff. Around him are residents, nurses, med students, learning how to work in the ER in real time, saving lives, basically putting them under all kinds of pressure. Most of season 1 was about burnout. We had some drug addiction, we had trauma, institutional failure, and a whole lot of cost of caring and loss of caring. It was a mess. By the finale, nearly every major character is broken in some way, folks. This show got nuts. It got real nuts. And season 2 jumps us 9 months later into the 4th of July weekend, where if you live in the right place, there are a lot of accidents from fireworks. Well, that's exactly what you're going to get in this first episode. High stakes fireworks. The hospital is going to be put in a precarious situation in which they are forced to work on an analog system, ladies and gentlemen, because hackers have taken over the system right in the middle of the 4th of July height rush. You got to tune in to see who's going to survive all that, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a mess. And if you want to know a little bit about the characters, because for me, this is one of the most beautiful casts I've ever seen put together. And if y'all know me from my old reviews, you know that I love giving people nicknames. So I've got one nickname that I'm going to start out with, Dr. Sexy Samara Mohan. She is a 3rd-year emergency medical resident. And her issues, ladies and gentlemen, she's methodical, she's empathetic, and that gets on the staff's nerves because she is the person who's really, really caring, trying to help everybody. She's trying to do things somewhat holistically, and she's very slow. And that puts her in conflict with a lot of people. And then you got my boy, Dr. Lag Behind Langdon. And I'll call him lag behind because he was lagging behind stealing drugs, ladies and gentlemen. By the end of the season, he had to go to rehab because Dr. Robby put him there. He's a senior resident, and he's Robby's second in command, but he's stealing drugs. His personality, he's practical, he's reliable, but emotionally guarded, struggles with this drug issue. And then you've got Dana Evans. She's the charge nurse, and she's funny, but in last season, she got punched in the face and basically was ready to retire and quit. She's the charge nurse, central coordinator in the ER. She is no nonsense. She's steady. She holds the hospital together. She's the backbone. And in real life, ladies and gentlemen, the backbone of pretty much every hospital and ER are nurses. They are. They do everything. When I was working as a respiratory therapist, whenever there was a crisis, oftentimes instead of going to get a doctor, you went and got the nurse who's been there the longest. And then we got what I would say is kind of like the heart and soul of the show. Well, I don't want to say heart and soul, but she's definitely the sweet part, the caring part, the innocent, doe-eyed part. Dr. Mel King, they call her Mel. Second year resident, skilled, but she's socially awkward. So, she's kind of a nerd, dedicated to medicine with a strong heart. That kind of puts her in a situation, ladies and gentlemen, that oftentimes challenges her own personal beliefs. But she steps up. She's very smart, and she's probably the smartest out of all the folks working with Dr. Robby. And then you've got Dr. Javadi and Dr. Whitaker. Both are med students. Dr. Javadi is a third-year student questioning whether she belongs in the emergency department. And to make the situation worse, her mom works at this hospital and is like a goat of medicine in this thing. And then you got Dr. Dennis. He's a fourth-year student, very smart, but he's insecure. I call him Dr. Wait on It Whitaker because last season he had to wait and go get a mouse that was in the ER, ladies and gentlemen. It was it was a mess. And then we also got Dr. McKay, thoughtful resident. She's very complex, but her issue is she's got an ankle monitor because of a situation with her baby daddy. And the police actually come and try to lock her up last season. And now we see in this trailer this season, her panty drawers is getting a little wet. Take a look at this.
Going over here.
Better now.
Man, it has been a while. I need to get laid. It's a little much before 8 a.m., right? Or ever.
She took one good look at that soccer player, that Langdon, and said, I want to hop on it early in the morning. And then we got my girl, Dr. Santos. I call her Sweet Santos because she looked like the type that'll like some chocolate, if y'all know what I mean. She's very outspoken, and her issue, folks, she's overconfident. She's an intern, but she's overconfident. And sometimes she crosses boundaries, but when it comes to procedure, she's probably the best at what's going on this show. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't decided to watch this show, I don't know what you're doing. You need to get up on it. It is going to be good. Robby is about to go off. He's going to take a sabbatical. They've got this lady that's going to replace him. He's tired of all the chaos. Langdon returns from rehab, confronting colleagues about his recovery. Dr. Javadi, now a sub-intern, still questioning, does she want to be in medicine? I could easily see her going down the route of being a social media star. Dr. Whitaker's promoted to intern, and he's finally getting paid. He comes from the country, by the way, so he wasn't making that much money. And we've got a new attending, Dr. Ali Hashimi, a former co-worker of Mel and Samara, joining the ER, adding fresh tension to the dynamics. Folks, you got to get in on this show. It is really, really good. And I want you guys to just envision a ER on one of the highest, busiest days, 4th of July, and then hackers take over your system. And most everything in the system of the hospital nowadays is run by technology, and hackers come control of it. Imagine the drama that's going to go on. Imagine the people that are friends that are going to wind up being enemies over all the hardship that'll go on in there. So please post me all your comments. Have you seen the show? Did you know this show won some Emmys? When HBO shoot, ladies and gentlemen, they do not miss. So please join me as I'll be dropping my reviews every Thursday after the show drops. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, and let's come back and talk about The Pitt Season 2.